Do you love old cars and trucks? Join us on Bring 'em Back to Life, where we search the salvage yards and backyards of America to find that gold mine of a parts car or that restorable gem in the rough. Come with us down memory lane as we elevate the status of our salvage yards to outdoor museums of automotive history.
Well, Renee and I are now at Stauffer's Repair and Salvage. This is Marietta, East Kansas. I'm in the hangar here with Todd.
I'm Todd Stauffer, and I'm third generation owner and operator partner on Stauffer Salvage. It started with my granddad. He started salvaging stuff in the 30s just due to the Depression, and then it continued from there. And in 1945 he moved and really got it kind of a little more into the salvage. And in 1963 they started, my dad and him had a chance to buy a tractor or two for parts that they thought they could part out and make some money at. And here we are over 50 years later, still doing it.
So you buy damaged, burnt, wore out?
Wore out, you name it, tractors. And then we, about 25 years ago, or 30, my dad had 4 boys. We was into classic cars. He started buying cars for parts. And that's how we got into the antique cars and trucks. So
I'm going to show as much as I can and the time that while you're open. And I mean, if this brings back 4-H and FFA times to me with these tractors from the 40s and 50s, and it's nice to see that you save them with the parts you get and you just move them on to the next owner. Yeah, and we do tractor repair and restorations for people. Oh, so okay. We started into that a little over 20 years ago. Okay, After I got out of OTEC, I worked in town for a few years and decided that was not what was meant for me, and we decided to just branch out. Dad was getting ready to retire from his normal job that he had, and we just went at it. People talk about how much profit there is, and I told him that, you tore 4 tractors apart to get 3 good gears between the 4 tractors.
It's a lot of work at times. Sometimes you take 2 or 3 pieces off, and then if you're lucky, you get the first one.
If you're lucky,
if you're
right?
Lucky, yeah,
right.
We've got a bad habit. We don't sell any parts that's not any good.
Now we're from Connecticut, and I've never seen a John Deere 9600 before. What is that for, and why do you happen to have that? Well,
that had an engine fire.
Oh.
And we're volunteer firemen.
Me too.
and it happened right over here across the field.
Oh.
And so we've changed engines and wiring harnesses, but it's a combine for corn and wheat and soybeans. And
of course, the 9600 is a small combine now.
Oh.
It used to be a little 10 or 12 foot, or 12 or 14 foot was a big combine, but now it don't have 24 foot or 30 foot header on it. It's not a very good combine.
Oh.
That's just the way things change.
So that's for doing the back acreage now?
Yeah.
Wow.
I got 4 boys.
Right.
And we started buying Chevrolet cars for them to drive. Well, they needed parts, so that's the reason I got started into the car salvage mainly. So I have parts for them boys, and then the state made me get a dealer's license, of course. That's how I got started on the cars and trucks and stuff.
Until then, it was all tractors?
Yeah, well, the tractors, my dad was in the salvage business before I was. He started out when he was a teenager, and he passed away at 91. And like I said, I was practically raised in the junkyard, so these old school buses, we can buy them, and so we got the seats all out of them, put shelves in them. Right. For storage. Because you can buy, well, you used to be able to buy an old school bus for $250 and then sell the parts off of it and then make storage out of them. And, right. And I bought several of them that way, and I'm so far behind now I don't have time to put shelves in them. So this here one here I drove for several years. So I wrecked it, so it's still sitting here.
That's out of the early 60s, huh?
That's a 64.
Yeah, okay.
And these tractors here are in either the late 20s or real early 30s, these right in here.
Yeah, okay.
And there's a lot more of them up in there, and there's some of them
all down through the brush here.
Down through the brush. And we do try to sort them out, But now like these here's all Chevrolets right in here. Watch.
All those pickups.
All these pickups
Yeah.
are just about all over Chevrolet or GMC, and they're in the mid-70s up into the 80s. And these tractors here, they range all the way from in the 40s to the 60s. We just take parts off of them and let them sit where they're at.
That's their final resting ground.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Not quite. We ship some iron out every now and then when it gets worth something. So.
Oh, look how far back.
Yeah.
We cleaned this all out here one time, and 1 year we put 40-some farm-all tractors in here.
Yeah, these are all farm-alls here, huh?
Right here they are, yeah.
Yep.
Now there's these are practically all farm-alls, and there's John Deere's and Alice's and Cases and stuff like that in different places in the yard.
Yeah, well, I told Todd, back in high school days when I was growing up, in the 50s and 60s, I worked on dairy farms and drove a lot of farm-alls, M's and H's, and then John Deere's. So I recognize a lot of these tractors, the tractors that I have driven when I was back in the 4-H and FFA days.
I grew up on an H farm-all.
Uh-huh.
We still got it here.
You do? Yeah.
Well, it's in pieces right now. We're trying to restore it.
And the other thing about tractors a lot of times is the engine holds the front and back of the tractors together.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So once you take the engine, it's in pieces.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a forklift. We can pick up the back half of the tractor. In fact, we can pick that whole tractor up with it and move it around if we want to.
Easier with the carburetor off.
You got a short breaker bar over there?
Breaker bar, what size?
3/8.
I have something better than a breaker bar.
Okay.
9/16?
Yeah.
Here, try this. This might bite it a little tighter.
I got it. I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it.
Say you like old cars, you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one and you've had no luck, well, come along with us, a trip down memory lane, on a walkabout. You'll be glad that you came. Say you like old cars, you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one and you've had no luck, well, come along with us, a trip down memory lane, on a walkabout. You'll be glad that you came.
So throttle's disconnected, distributor's out. Everything seems to be out of the way. It has to be.
I'm trying to stay ahead of you, Roger.
Yeah, seems like everything's almost ready to break this loose. Just want to make sure before we do it.
Oh, one more little thing.
What? This hose. Yeah, that.
We don't want to break that.
Oh, that's why I didn't bring no tubing wrenches though.
No? I used to be able to get that off with a 7/16, I think.
No, it might round it.
Almost. Well, we ain't going to be able to tell much if the intake's clean.
I know. Well, oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an original clamp.
I see that, man. I don't have my original type pliers here.
How about that? An original
That's
56
unbelievable.
clamp.
That's telling me this thing's been in here. Probably hasn't been touched.
Let me get the camera from John and walk around and show that clamp.
Yeah.
These type of radiator clamps are original 50s into the 60s for sometimes the radiator hoses as well, and these are the heater hoses, and those are the correct clamps. And they do make a special tool to get them off so you don't pinch your pinky. So Roger's got to be careful there so he doesn't pinch his pinky while doing it. Here it comes.
We have fancy pliers for today's technology that allow us to grab in there.
It ain't no fun though. It won't hardly give you room to do it. Just enough. Yeah.
Need them again?
You got to do the other one for the water pump later, so.
Owner over there, Mr. Dennis.
Ready.
Fixes everything.
Sometimes I get right with a gasket, a little sharp screwdriver. Let me try it. And it works Saturday, it works Monday.
You got that?
Little mice project.
Just set it in my cooler, I feel like.
Yeah, they've been in there.
Oh yeah.
That's been replaced. Somebody's been in there, other than mice. Now, of your 4 sons, is Todd the only one working in this business?
Yeah, mainly. I've got one more boy west of Holton that we'll call up there. He lives just a mile and a half from the other yard, and we need a part, and he'll go look about it, and he'll either take it off or tell us that we've got it. And these cars in here, they run. This is some of my Ford stuff right here.
Yes, I see that. Yeah,
there's a Thunderbirds and Mercury Turnpike Cruisers and stuff like that. The cars range all the way from the 40s up to the. I've got a few later than 2000, but I'm not interested in them too much.
Right.
And there's an old Chevrolet car. They used to have jalopy races around here.
Oh.
And we found that, well, we bought some tractors up there at the place, and we found that in the trees, and it's full of bullet holes, and it's and somebody will buy that thing and make a hot rod out of it.
Well, that would also be good to restore an antique coupe race car, because it was.
But the thing of it is they cut it up so bad. See how they cut the door out? And
that was so the guys could get in and out of it.
Get in and out of it, yep. Yep. I used to go to the jalopy races when I was in high school, and they had a track up here, they had a track down here, they had tracks all over the country. See, like we had a tractor in over there, we'd park it right there in the driveway and get our buckets out and catch all the oil, antifreeze, everything.
Right.
And store it.
Right.
But we were real careful about it because we had a voluntary inspection one time, and the state, and they looked us over and they said, "You guys are in real good shape."
Good.
Because I went to a junkyard in Kansas City where you walk around it just like walking on a sponge.
Oh.
The oil in the ground. And, but we'll spill some oil now and then, but not. We try not to. So.
Right. Now there's a tractor I have never seen. What is a David Brown?
Okay, that was made in England. It was made in England, and it was bought out by Case. J.I. Case bought them out.
Oh.
I'd say in the 60s somewhere. It's Case I-8s now.
Okay. That's the first time I've seen one.
Yeah.
I imagine the parts are scarce.
Well, we've sold some parts of it. We had one that we had here, the first one we ever bought. And we consider one, you know, you don't think you're going to do any good on, is a dead horse.
Right.
Well, somebody found out about that, and we shipped parts to Georgia, we shipped parts to Washington, because people find out about them things.
Well, you know, that's why I enjoy doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
I showed a segment on my very first episode in the first salvage yard I went in, and my cameraman mic'd me and let me stand about 150 feet away in a pile of 1930s cars.
Yeah.
And one of my viewers spotted a 36 Dodge sedan in amongst those cars, went to the salvage yard, went up and looked and bought a bunch of cranks and door handles and a fender off it for his hot rod.
Now, see, we got our case tractors here, some of them. Then we got John Deere's here, the 2 cylinders. I need to get a herd of goats in here.
Oh, yeah.
But how would you fence them in? And of course, this tractor salvage business got us started into farm toys. You know, the collecting farm toys and stuff like that.
Oh, yes.
And we've got a building full of them up there. I've got the little riding tractors, you know, you ride on.
Right.
I've got a big collection of them, and then we've got a lot of them little ones like this. And road maintainers don't do a very good job here. This just, and then them boys got them Camaros and Chevelles. They've got that one carport's full of cars and stuff there. I didn't ever think it was going to get this big, but it got big. So some of this stuff's here been here darn near 50 years. We've lived here 50 years now. So
we're coming right up into your yard now.
Yeah. My wife, she put up with this for years and years and years. Bonnie says, I want a fence up out there. We put the fence up about 2 years ago.
Oh.
The wood fence. I figured that would do that, maybe. I'll scratch the paint on his pickup. Of course, we started out in that shop right there.
Oh.
And, I mean, that's where I started working on stuff. And I built a lot of portable cattle corrals.
Oh, we've seen them everywhere. Yeah.
Well, my dad, we had a load and shoot, you know, you could pull places, and a couple gates, and then he bought an outfit, and then I ended up building 4 more of them. And he rented them out, $5 a day.
Oh.
You know, if you wanted to go catch your cattle out here in the pasture, you could rent it for $5 for a day.
Right.
I don't know whether you're interested in our hobby or not. That red building there is clear full of toys now, but I've got 80 of those pedal tractors.
Wow.
80 different ones. We built a 24 by 40 foot building, and we built 24 foot on that end of it, and then we put 32 more feet on this end of it. So, well, the way it is, everybody wanted me to bring them pedal tractors to a show, you know.
Right.
Well, you load them on that white thing there, and you can get 30 some on there.
Oh, wow.
But you got to put it on a trailer, and it takes us 3 of us working at it, 2 hours to load them and 2 hours to unload them. So we built the building tall enough, and I've got a trailer frame over there that I'm going to put that on. I'm going to set them all on there and just leave them on there.
Right.
In the building. So
right.
Being lazy. So,
being smart.
Being smart.
Yeah, so.
Now see, back home where we are, they call that Yankee ingenuity.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we do a lot of that. So. And there's some old horse-drawn machinery.
Oh,
here.
yes.
We bought one deal up there. Todd did some work for a guy, and he wanted to sell us a bunch of machinery, so he did some trading in an old riding cultivator, you know, with the high wheels on it, well, just like that.
Right.
One sitting there. One piece of machinery was there. A tree that big around goes right through the middle of it. I didn't get it all.
Has an antique manure spreader with 4 wheels.
4 wheels, yeah.
Yeah.
We sold that already. They use them for yard art. This big piece of white metal.
Oh, yeah, a lot of it.
That's a grain bin. Big grain bin.
Oh.
Wow.
It's brand new.
Oh.
They was taking it down the highway to deliver it, and I don't know how tall it was, but they were supposed to go up the off ramp and then back down the other side.
Yeah.
And they tried to go underneath it, and it caught about that far of it.
Oh no.
And we got a call from the highway patrol and the truck driver both.
Right.
Of course, I've cut it all up now.
Wow.
Right. Well, here's what's left of a 64 Impala. 2-door hardtop. The door window, the side glass window is there. The complete rear bumper's there. Both rear quarter panels have been carefully cut off. But there's still some good stuff here. Well, it's been a long time since I've seen one of these, but I know what it is. Even with the emblems missing, it's a two-door hardtop Marlin, American Motors Corporation. Well, there it says Rambler, right there. Tail light assemblies are both here. The trunk is still on here. Some trim in there. Got nice trim on the door. Nice glass. It was an automatic shift car. I can see right through the other side. The glass is good on those. The rear quarter is rolled down. The door glass is good on the other side. I'd be willing to wager that that's restorable. Now, this is for my friends in the full-size Mercury group. It's a 4-door, no post between the doors. Of course, there's some bullet holes, but the stainless around the driver's or passenger's window and the rear window door, the stainless is beautiful. The doors are both here. The other side windows are broken too, but looks like it had a few options. Some nice stainless parts. But it's definitely a donor car. Here's a car I haven't seen on the road for quite a while. I see one every once in a while at the cruises. 1958 Fairlane 500. This was a 4-door sedan. It was red and white. This was just like the one my grandma owned and used to let me borrow to go on dates before I got my first 57 Chevy. And this was a stick shift, because there's the transmission still sitting right there in the hump. And my grandma's was a 6-cylinder. For hers was an automatic. 1958 Fairlane 500. The nose has been unbolted and is sitting here leaning against this Chevrolet.
We've got to call the tire shredders now. They cut up these old tires. We got to pay to get rid of them. It costs all the way from $3 to $15 to get rid of the tires. I need to get rid of them because we got to get rid of them on account of the mosquito.
Yes.
Yep.
But you know, they want me to keep mine cleaned up. But a farmer can have 500 laying out here and they don't say a word to him.
And the farmers use them for covering mounds of silage and stuff.
Right, yeah, but I said all them tires out there on the farm, they don't breed mosquitoes in that water, do they?
No, no. There's a 56 Chevy pickup.
7.
It doesn't have the bumps on the hood, so it must have a...
No, it's got the wrong hood.
Got the wrong hood on it.
Well,
Okay.
we bought that, well, we traded for it, kind of, I guess, or bought it, and then that's going to be Todd's wife's pickup. So.
Oh, yeah, it's got the nice little step side.
Yeah, my grandson drove to school for a year, and then when he went to college, he got him a car, and we just left it set here.
Uh-huh.
Go out there and turn it over ever so often.
Is that a 6-cylinder?
Yep, 6-cylinder
Yep.
with 4-speed on the floor. And
Oh, the granny gear for farming.
Yeah, yeah. So. But when we bought it, it didn't have an engine or transmission in it.
Oh.
And we had a guy come up here on Saturday morning. I need some money, and we went down and looked at it and bought it from him. But he's so far behind now. I don't know how many tractors he's got to work on right now. The wheel off of that H farm oil will fit on a John Deere A or B, and it'll also fit some of your case tractors. And you know, if you figure all that stuff out,
right?
Because the rims are all made by one company, and they fit different tractors. And
right.
I bought some John Deeres down to Rossville from the international dealer, and I hauled them. And they was old 70 G John Deeres. And after I bought them, the guy I bought them from, he says, I need a pair of rims for a Super MTA. I said, well, you just sold me a pair of them. But he didn't realize that they would fit like that. And
yeah, right.
So that's how I got started in the mechanical work. Went to work down there at Rossville, down when I was 20 years old. And he got me started. In fact, he got me started in the tractor salvage. Because he had got an old H-in one day, and it wouldn't run right, no tires on it, and he sold it to me for $200. Back when iron was worth $5 a ton.
Oh, wow.
And my dad, I took it up from my dad's because I lived in town, and my dad says, you'll never make $1 on it. And I ended up, after about 4, 5, 6 months, I had my money back in parts. And he said, well, let's just keep trying to buy some more, and that's when we really got started, and that was in 1963. And so, and of course, he was in the junk biz. We jumped tractors before that, but just junk. So, and like I said, I worked there for a while, and then I worked for John Deere, and then I went to work for Alice Chalmers industrial plant in Topeka as a welder and maintenance work down there, and then I worked on school buses here for 21 years, and then I retired 17 years ago.
So this is
off a regular job.
Right, this is your retirement job.
Yeah. So
wow.
My wife says, when did you have time to go to work? Well, what actually happened is the salvage business expanded, and then my dad got to where he couldn't do anything with it, and so, it's been an interesting life, and it's been work hard. And,
right.
But like I said, we really enjoy that. When we get a call from somebody and says that part was just as good or better than what you said it was.
Right.
And then we have people will restore a tractor, and they'll send us a picture of it after it's done. And
yes, I understand that.
It's something that's interesting.
Yeah, we sold one of our 56 Chevy convertibles to somebody in Minot, North Dakota, and he said, I just want to make sure there's no parts missing, because it's a convertible, and does it run? I go, it runs, it's a driveway driver. It's not ready for the road yet, but it's all complete, nothing missing. We agreed on a price, and he sent somebody to Connecticut to get it, and then he showed us photos of him doing a frame-off restoration and what it looked like when he was done, and he was in parades all over the Dakotas, really enjoying the car, and that made us feel good. Well, thank you very much for taking the time with us and giving us the stories.
Say you like old cars, say you like old trucks. You've been
going down to my other yard. I'm a collector of old bikes and old tracks. You'll be quite impressed with us.
A trip down memory lane on a walkabout. You'll be glad that you came.